The twin suns of the Los burned low over the fractured wastelands of Athelia. 9. Once a thriving diplomatic outpost between the Galactic Concord and the Elari Dominion, the planet had now become nothing more than a battlefield strewn with the debris of broken promises. The evacuation had been swift, brutal, and selfish. In the chaos of the retreat, the Elari had been left behind, specifically 2 young female Elari, barely into adolescence by their people's standards. Blue-skinned, with silver-white hair and luminous eyes, the sisters clung to one another as the last of the ships tore through the polluted skies without them. Everyone, military, medics, diplomats, left. Everyone except the human. Sergeant Dane Rourke hadn't meant to stay behind. His shuttle had been full, the pilot screaming at him to get in or get left. But as he turned to run up the ramp, he caught a glimpse in the corner of his eye. 2 pale figures crouched beside a fallen comms relay, shivering in the dust storm, eyes wide with fear. And just like that, his choice was made. The shuttle lifted off without him. The pilot cursed his name as he vanished into the cloud-covered heavens. Rourke didn't care. He had been born on Earth, raised in the slums of Neo-Jakarta, where people didn't leave others behind. Not children. Not even alien ones. The Elari girls didn't speak standard well, but they understood kindness. When Rourke approached, slowly, weapons holstered, one of them flinched. The other stood in front of her sister, trying to act brave despite the blood on her dress and the tear in her shoulder. He knelt down. "I'm not here to hurt you," he said softly. "Name's Rourke. You 2 got names." They looked at one another. Then the older one whispered, "Luma. She is Rinny." "Luma. Rinny. Got it." He gave them a small smile, one he hadn't used in a long time. "Let's get out of here before the scavengers come." Over the next 3 days, they traveled through the shattered cities of Athelia. 9. Rourke scavenged supplies from the ruins, canned protein, water purifiers, and a functioning drone battery he strapped to a solar plate. The girls followed him quietly at first, wide-eyed and unsure. But by the 4th night, Luma offered to cook. Rourke let her. The result was chewy but edible. They slept in abandoned buildings, Rourke always taking first and last watch. He'd faced down thresher squads and Ogren death beetles. But nothing felt more dangerous than this responsibility now. These girls weren't just alien refugees. They were hope, innocence preserved in a galaxy that had long since given up on both. On the 5th day, the raiders came. Their dropship screamed through the canyon passes and landed hard, metal shrieking as it touched down. Out stepped a dozen mercs, cybernetically enhanced, bloodthirsty, and eager to loot what little remained of the ghost world. Rourke heard them before he saw them. He pressed the girls into a ravine wall and covered them with his coat. "If anything happens to me," he said, "run. Hide. Do not make a sound." Luma clutched his wrist. "Please, no fight. We go together." He hesitated, his heart twisting. "Can't risk them finding you." Rourke stepped out into the open, rifle in hand. The mercs didn't hesitate. They opened fire immediately. But Rourke was faster. He dropped 2 before they knew he was there, then rolled behind a shattered Walker chassis. Shrapnel tore across his arm, but he gritted his teeth. His rifle hummed, energy core glowing red as he lit up the canyon. A flashbang blinded the next 3. Rourke charged through smoke and fire, knife in hand, a war cry tearing from his lungs. By the end of it, only he remained standing, bloodied, gasping, with a cracked visor and trembling hands. The girls ran to him. Rinny wrapped her tiny arms around his waist. Luma fell to her knees beside him. "You stayed," she whispered. "Damn right I did," he muttered. For the next month, Rourke taught them everything. How to shoot, how to signal satellites, how to filter water and detect mines. He built a small camp under the remnants of an old research dome and rigged the place with defensive measures. Luma proved a quick learner, especially with technology. Rinny was better at foraging and alerting him to threats, her Elari senses sharper than his own. They weren't just surviving. They were becoming a team. Then one morning, while scanning frequencies, Luma found a weak signal. Human. Rourke's heart skipped. It was a survey ship from the Terran Exploration Corps, passing near the system. No time to send coordinates. Only one chance. He powered up a makeshift flare tower from scavenged junk and aimed it skyward. The flare pierced the sky with blue fire. Minutes passed. Then a response. The rescue vessel landed 3 hours later. Marines stepped out. Real soldiers. Uniforms. Flags. Rourke almost wept. But then came the bureaucrats. "What are these?" one asked, pointing at the girls. "They're Elari. I found them. They're Dominion. They're children. They're not ours to take responsibility for," the official said coldly. "We'll send a message to the Concord. Let them sort it." "They've been abandoned once already," Rourke growled. "Not again." It nearly came to blows. But then the captain of the ship, an older woman named Commander Silva, stepped forward. She looked at the girls, then at Rourke. "You trust him?" she asked Luma. "Yes," Luma said softly. "He saved us." Silva nodded. "Then they come with us." 3 years later, the Elari sisters were no longer helpless. Luma had become a xenotechnician in the Concord's Alliance Corps. Rinny trained with human scouts, now the youngest dual-species ambassador in training. And Rourke? He sat quietly in the audience at the Concord Assembly, watching the girls give their first diplomatic address together. "We stand here today," Luma said, "because one man refused to see us as anything less than lives worth saving. Because one human stayed when everyone else left," Rinny added. Rourke smiled from the shadows. As they left the podium, reporters swarmed. "Do you consider him your father?" one asked. "No," Luma replied with a proud grin. "He's more than that. He's our family,